Welcome to the service, y'all. Welcome to the service. I got a very powerful service for the community today. I said I got a very powerful service for the community today. Come on in. Lot of issues in the community to talk about. A lot of issues in the culture to talk about. So get in here, get comfortable, get yourself a drink. You want a drink? You want something to drink? Grab a drink. Have a beer if you want. I mean, it's Thursday, so maybe we don't have a beer yet, but have a coffee, have a tea, sit down, let's raise the vibration, let's dig into the issues. Let's dig into the issues. Cesar Cabrera says, we are here, Amish. Yes, thanks for coming, Cesar Cabrera. We're gonna get right into the issues today. I got so many issues, and I gotta meet a filmmaker at 12:30. To start making a documentary about my life, basically. I think I can do a one-man wedding, like arranged marriage documentary show, like that one on Netflix. I think I could do a one-person one. Is that cocky? I don't know. Listen, maybe the vibration's too high. I don't know. Maybe the vibration's too high. I don't know. But yeah, let's get into it. We got so many powerful service topics to cover. Okay. That's it. Yeah, let's get into it. Powerful service. And we're gonna put some people on the board today. We gotta put them on the board, and that's it. We gotta put them on the board, people. So we're gonna be putting people on the board, on the righteousness scale, and seeing where they line up exactly. Oh yeah. Powerful discussion for the community today. Oh my goodness. There we go. What's up, y'all? Here we are. We're going to get right into our first rip and our first dip. That's what we're going to do. We're going to rip and dip, baby. We're going to rip and dip. That's the end of that. What a crazy week, though, I've had. My mom's getting frail, so she's so mean still, though. She still cusses people. She'll still, talk shit. She'll still be like, this one is a divorce? Who going to marry? I don't know. Stuff like that. You doing stupid acting, no money, stupid, shut up. She goes into just rips like that. Or she'll just be I think I told you guys last week, there's some oil drops. We have 2 tenants in the basement. There's some oil drops on the driveway. And one day I come down the stairs and she wakes up, she knows I'm in the room, so she's like, oh, like this, Amish, come here. Like she's making it out like it's some major wish that she has or whatever. And she's like, oh my God. And she's telling me about the basement tenant. She's like, tell basement tenant, his car, leaving too much oil, make driveway dirty, no good. And tell him he have to pay. Tell him he have to pay. And I'm like, just cool it, right? You're going to tell, and I thought maybe I'm being soft. She had me convinced that I'm being soft. Because she's coming out of I'm coming down the stairs and she does these, but it's a drama. It's a little bit of drama added on. But she wakes up oh, Amish, tell basement tenant, I want $300. Cleaning cost $500. And his car make all mess. So, but I give $200. He had to give $500. He's $300. Okay? I'm like, Mom. Cesar, how's the sound over there, baby? Justin Conscious Gwyn is also here. Greetings. P. Morton, what's up, baby? Hey. Guess what? How's the audio, everyone? Is the audio okay?
Wow, we're we're just a little buttercup, aren't we?
Why do I tell you this? I tell you this because this is the level of attachment that is in Kali Yuga. We are living in Kali Yuga. And there's too much attachment. Anyway, turns out it wasn't even the basement guy's car. It was our car. So, it's like, is it worth the stress? That's what I'm trying to convey. I'm like, let go of the stress now. Just don't worry about it. But you can't, whatever she tells you to do, you can do it. But you can't be like, okay, no, stop worrying about this. Because she'll just, the whole day, she'll like, oh my God, Emmy, basement tenant, he have to pay something. And it's like, just, your back's hurting, you can't sleep, you're losing weight. There's a couple of oil spots on the driveway. But, so you can't leave it. Even some aunties were over and they were talking shit about this woman who's a victim of domestic abuse. And and my mom's like, she is one is a stupid only. See, too much, too. Okay, they have to hate. I swear. I'm like, soften it up now. You know what I mean? Nothing's worth hitting. I'm trying to tell them nothing's worth hitting. It's like, you shut up, you don't know. They actually think that Americans and Canadians are like so soft on marriage. Like if a brown girl gets divorced, right? And she's just and the aunties will be like, he beat you, he cheats, he's cheating, he's beat you. Sometime you have to let go, okay? And the girl will be like, no, I think we were in different places. And they're like, dude, these Indian aunties are like, different places. Bitch, my husband beat me. Like, that's how they look at you like, you're fucking stupid, dude. You're a loser. Just stay with your husband, okay? My husband beat the shit out of me, spent all our money. I had to make it back myself, and I raised the kids too. No divorce, pussy. That's the attitude. But that's not righteous, people. That's not righteous. We shouldn't be thinking like that. We should be thinking like you gotta go. Yami Osniel put good morning, but I read God morning. Isn't that weird? It's probably because my vibration's so high. Cesar Cabrera, this is epic. Too funny. Thanks, baby. Love you. P. Morton. Yo, did you guys hear the music off the top though? Let me play the music. I should get the headphones, but I can't figure out how to get this to play out of the headphones right now. So one thing at a time. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't like that song. True Art, Real Affection, Part 4 by Noir Blanc V, right here on the Drip and Dip, live on YouTube. Follow my Instagram at Fade to Brown. Make sure you come out to some live shows. Make sure you come out to my Loving Kindness meditation. We got a lot of powerful services here offered at the ashram. Let's take one quick chat with the congregation. Where's my congregation, y'all? There we go. Wait a minute. And see, this is why you gotta go over to the, support the ashram, give it a like, give it a sub, because we need all of your support possible. Cesar Cabrera is here. P. Morton says audio good. Yami Osniel says good morning, but when I saw that, I read God morning. That's what I saw, Yami Osniel. I read God morning because that is a good morning. P. Morton says, after 60 and a dead or divorced husband, women run out of fucks and get a QVC credit card and cover all furniture in plastic. Yeah, P. Morton, it's a lot of that, man. It's a lot of, it's crazy, so tough, but still underneath the dad. Like, if my dad ever said shit to her, she's like, okay, yeah. Like, sometimes she would call him boss. I swear to God. Like, they call the husband boss. And even my nephew's wedding... No, but the funniest thing about my nephew's wedding, though, I love this. People that have been harassing me to get married my whole life, my nephew gets married, and they go, hey, Amish, he's stuck now. The whole thing was a scam the whole time. My whole life, they're like, you have to get married. Who's going to marry you? You get married. Come on, man. And I never did it. Then my nephew, 10 years younger than me, gets married. And then the same guy who's like, come on, man, get married. What we do? My nephew gets married, like, hey, this idiot got stuck, huh? He's married, stupid. He's married. You free. Like, maybe I don't know if he changed his mind or if I'm out of the market. Because they give you different treatment in the market, out of the market. I'm over the hill in arranged marriage years. So I'm off the arranged marriage market. So now that I'm off, then they can tell me the truth. So this guy goes, this uncle, who normally would be like, I miss you to get married. Is it too hard, man? Is it too... Like, just freak. It's like, you get married now. Then you 40. children 20. Then they get married. They have kid. Then you 60. They grandkid 20. Then they get married, have kid. You 80. Great grandkid. You finish. You win. You're number one. That's the guys who. But now I'm not gonna happen at this point. So now he goes, hey, look, your Mites. He's stuck. Take your bicharo. He's the idiot stuck. My dad never hit. My mother beat me once for cursing. Yeah, no, my dad would never hit my mom, though. My dad would never hit my mom, but, like, my dad is actually more against, like, domestic violence than my mom, though. Like, my mom, if someone gets hit, my mom would be like, she's talking too much. Just shut up. My mom would say that. And then my dad would tell the husband, like, this you can't solve it with talking. They already listen to everything we do. I think my dad was saying that to someone once. He's like, they already do everything, and you got to hit them on top of it. Come on, baby, what are you doing? Like he had to talk someone out of it. Anyway, Chipco's here with that ranch. Justin Consciousness also here with that ranch. Make sure you say hello and send one bit of gratitude to our ranch holders here in the community, making sure people watch out, and make sure you send a little loving kindness to Cesar Cabrera too, because he was first one in the comment congregation, and we like that. We like people coming in early, joining the comment congregation. We got a lot of topics today. And like I said, I want to shoot a documentary, and I got to go meet the filmmaker. He was actually the filmmaker of my nephew's wedding. He was so good, so tight. Dude, I can't believe my brother-in-law's like, Amite stuck to you. He's like, he's stuck. Stupid, stuck, done. No, it was a great wedding. I'm going to dude, I got to ask them for pictures and shit. Because I didn't take anything. I was like, I have to be in the moment and be with the people. So I didn't take any pictures. Where the fuck is the pictures? I did so many good jokes too. Like even when we were pulling up, they pulled us up on the car. So I was standing on the truck and we drove in because you have to make a big drama out of it. And the girl's mom is there. And I'm telling the girl's mom, like, I want a down payment on a house. You better give me that dowry, baby. You better give me that dowry. You don't give me that dowry, we're going to drive out. That's actually like an old Hindu joke. It's not a joke. It's actually a real thing that people did. They'd be like, yo, I want a down payment on a house. Or we drive out and your girl's damaged goods. So give me the motorcycle and the house and the thing. And people would do that. Anyway, as a joke, I was saying it to the mom and she was just like, oh my God, come on, man. Like the aunties were like, Amish, come on, man. They were like, what are you doing? What are you saying? We're not doing dowry. No, but even my mom's so mean though. I remember she was telling us about a woman who wasn't being nice enough to the husband. And she goes, she should be grateful. They didn't even ask for a dowry. You know how much dowry they could have got? And she's treating him like this? She needs to get her shit together. That's what my mom. It's too much. It's rude, quite frankly. But thanks for coming, everyone. Chipco, it says, don't forget to like and share. Of course, man. Like and share the stream. Let the whole community know what we're talking about. And we got our first rip ready to go. That didn't come in right, but I'll tell you what did come in right is... Hold on. Boom. There it is. So this is our first topic. We got a movie coming out, and I'll just set it up real quick. We got a movie coming out, and this should be on the thumbnail too. But it's a movie coming out called... Hold on. Sound of Freedom. This film is out already. Sound of Freedom. Jim Caviezel and I don't know who this other guy is. Probably South American, and it's a movie about child trafficking, all kinds of child sex trafficking, but all kinds of child trafficking. Mitch Vintage says no dowry. You were finesse. That's funny. But Sound of Freedom. This movie comes out. I think it's Mel Gibson produced. I'm pretty sure it's Mel Gibson produced. But Jim Caviezel's in it, and Jim Caviezel has the taint of Mel Gibson. He has the taint of Mel Gibson. And Mel Gibson in Hollywood is seen as a sinner. But we'll get into that in a second. But first, I want to show you this. And Mel Gibson did sin in Hollywood, let's be honest. He was a sinner, and we're going to get into his sins. You know, even though he claims to be a spiritual man, a religious man. This is a clip that I saw on Breaking Points the other day. Great show. Let's check it out.
This film is being marketed to either specific QAnon believers or to people who believe all of the same tenets as QAnon, but claim they don't know what it is.
And The Sound of Freedom does focus on a real issue of sex trafficking. But that theme, it's sort of like that kernel of truth that feeds the QAnon conspiracy theory. Tell us how those two things work together.
Sure. And the most durable and the most believable conspiracy theories are not entirely false. There's something in them that is true and the rest of it is false. But the believers point to the one true thing and they say, oh, you don't believe that this particular thing is true. In terms of child trafficking, we know trafficking is real. We know it has real victims. No one is denying that. But these films are created out of moral panics. They're created out of bogus statistics.
Oh, it's a moral panic. It's a moral panic. I think someone is projecting, but we'll talk about it.
They're created out of fear, and with something like Sound of Freedom, it specifically is looking at QAnon concepts of these child trafficking rings that are run by the high-level elites, and only people like Tim Ballard, and only people like Jim Caviezel, and by extension, only people like the ticket buyer can help bring these trafficking rings down. Okay.
See, this is wrong. This I felt like was such a... You know, the crazy thing is that these basically CNN, I don't know why liberals do this so much right now, but there's so many issues, like anything with Trump, anything with Mel Gibson, and they're like, no, you're not allowed to watch. It's dangerous, don't watch it. You're dangerous. And now I have to watch it. The forbidden fruit must be had. By the way, how's the volume on all that? Let me know in the comments if the volume's okay. On the clip, on me, am I peaking? Let me know, and... Yeah, but you know, when someone says, no, you're not allowed, that's when I say, well, now I have to watch it. And I recommend everyone watch it. I think everyone in the whole congregation should watch it. Sorry, CNN. I don't agree with this attitude that they have about everything, that everything has to be censored and everything is like evildoers and good doers. But let's get to the bottom of why they're saying it. First of all, it doesn't work, but let's get to the bottom of why they're saying it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Mel Gibson didn't say some shit, because Mel Gibson did say some stuff, and it's not righteous, quite frankly. And let's get into that actually real quick, too. What do I have? I got some clips for you. Oh, well, this is Jim Caviezel a couple of years ago, but this is Mel Gibson.
In my mid-20s.
Right.
The first time I really came over here. You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And and I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be, because a whole place can't be like, you know, Weird Town, you know, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them and they tell you don't go into the house on the hill, and it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm
filled with Jews, all Jews. He doesn't say that.
Paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like, could it? Mm. And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real at the time, and you think, a place.
Yeah, covering for child molesters. That is, or covering for like Harvey Weinstein, maybe. I don't know. What is he talking about? That's the problem. This is the root of the issue here. This is the root of the issue, and this is what always happens in these culture wars. This is a culture war between Mel Gibson, Jim Caviezel, and those sinners in Hollywood. Hollywood, we know, it is a den of sinners. It is full of sinners. They do have a casting couch issue. They have a lot of people like the Harvey Weinstein types that are there, and it's just fake, maybe. And you know, it is, you know, if you watch film noir movies, they always set film noir in Hollywood because they always see Hollywood as like, they call it Tinseltown. They're like, it's a place that looks perfect on the surface, but behind it, it's just like very rapey, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? It's like extra happy on the surface, extra rapey on the background. And that's Hollywood's MO a little bit. And all kinds of weirdos there too. There's people that are into kid stuff. There's the porn industry, which is fine. But then there's just, it's always been abusing like younger people, younger, beautiful people. But I don't even know if that's what he's talking. What is he talking about?
A place like this can humiliate you.
Mm-hmm. I think it is about the Jews, this one.
And it can humiliate you, it can be humbling. I mean, it does rip your life to pieces.
Is it?
If you'll let it.
Yeah.
And it's always pounding at the walls. These little guys, these little heathens with no soul downstairs with horns on their head with a battering ram trying to like beat your walls in.
Now Gibson.
Wow. That's terrifying. That is quite terrifying. The music was great too. See, this is a big issue in the community. Now, he doesn't mention there because he's smart enough not to mention it, but around that time, he also said Jews start all wars. And he also did say some stuff about Jews to the cop that we really got to get that footage, don't we? We do got to. And not only that, but like if you ever watch his movies, Mel Gibson on Jews, let's see if we can find it. Here, let's do this one. Let's do one more.
Now here's the situation with Mel Gibson.
Man, you know what's crazy is that Young Turks got big doing that, where they just baited people into clicking on their links, but it still works. Because they make it look like it's just the original clip, but it's actually him doing commentary on it, which is fine. I respect the hustle, baby. I respect it. I'm in the game.
People are going to welcome you back, and other people are going to be like, he should never come back.
Why?
Because of what happened before.
What happened before?
The remarks that were attributed to you.
That were attributed to me.
Yeah.
That I didn't necessarily make.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That I didn't necessarily make, but he did make them. Come on, man. He's so aggressive with like, because what this reporter is referring to is that he did say Jews start all wars. He did say that. And he did say a bunch of other stuff about Jews. And if you watch his movie, Passion of the Christ, it's basically blaming the Jews for killing Jesus. And if you watch the movie, Jesus is so righteous in it. And the Jews are like they're like conniving little evil people. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I have this is them on the set. Him and Jim Caviezel. This really is the start of this culture war. Him and Jim Caviezel on set. We're going to put them on the righteousness scale. We're going to figure out where they belong on righteousness for doing all this. But he did say it. That's what makes him an extra sociopath. When the guy's like, your comments that you allegedly said. Oh, so I allegedly said them. So I didn't. You can't even say that I did them. Yeah.
Okay. But I gather you have a dog in this fight.
Pardon me?
You have a dog in this fight, or are you being impartial?
You tell me I'm trying to be impartial, I guess.
Okay. Well, I'm back, and I hope it works out, and I hope people will graciously accept me back.
Okay, that's actually nice, because he's basically saying, I hope people have the grace to say, you know what? Mel Gibson made a mistake, and he's back now. But he did say a bunch of shit about Jews. And, we have to get to the bottom of these issues, right? All these culture war issues, all these fights in the community, they are of a low vibration, but how do we figure out who is righteous and who is not without looking at the full history? And one of the things that happens when you look at the full history is that it brings you out of that darkness. Because every time people are in a fight, they always want you to just remember the last thing that the other guy did that was bad, but then they never want to talk about the full history of it, because when you get to the full context of it, they know you're going to realize that it's gray and it's complicated and nobody's actually evil, and we are all children of the Most High God. And we're all doing our best. And this is just what happened. You know what I mean? This is what happened. Their people did this to you, and you're traumatized, and then you guys did that to them, and they're traumatized, and they're just going back and forth, generation after generation. Now, the interesting thing is that he says that Jews start all wars. Now, in my opinion, and I don't want to be rude to anyone here, I think conservatives start all wars. What do you guys think in the comments? I feel like even when two countries go to war with each other, it's not all the people here and all the people here fighting. It's the conservatives in this country saying, let's go, and then the conservatives in this country saying, oh yeah, you want to go, you want to go? And then they start the fight, and then they're like, okay, well, we're fighting now, and everyone else has to go. That's how World War I was started. And World War II happened because of World War I. And all this shit that's happening in the world today happened because of World War II. So you can trace it all the way back to that. It's just a bunch of jocks, bunch of jerks, conservatives, fighting with each other and being like, no, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. And that's what I feel like what with Mel Gibson's fights are, because he's in Hollywood and there is this sense that Jews run Hollywood and they're discriminating against me or something like that. So he feels like he's discriminated against, so then he comes out, he backlashes with these comments. He attacks the Jew. He attacks them. And so after he attacks them, then they want to start a fight with him. And now, even though they've made what seems to be, and I got to watch it, now I'm going to watch it, now that they made what seems to be a very righteous movie about human child trafficking. I mean, they made the movie, and it looks like it's going to be, it looks great, it's getting good reviews, but they fell for the trap. This is the culture war trap. And this happens all the time, where the conservative basically baits the liberal into a fight. Because if you look at this, the lead up to this movie is them basically saying, is him and Mel Gibson basically have all these clips out saying like, liberal Hollywood's not going to like it. Liberal Hollywood, they're going to attack us. Liberal Hollywood, they're going to do this. They're going to do this. And then, of course, this idiot on CNN takes the bait and says, no, don't watch it. It's dangerous. Now I got to watch it. That's basically how it works. So I'll watch it and we'll do the proper review of the movie next week. But right now, I did just want to talk about that and you know, make sure you don't get caught up in these culture wars because they're not righteous. Sorry, quite frankly, they're not righteous. And what these guys have done, these conservatives, is because they're at a low vibration, like I said, because they're in fear, they're projecting all these issues out onto the world. I'll show you one last clip, actually, of this is lunatic actor Jim Caviezel. Great title from the David Pakman show. Let's take a look at it.
The video. I would get the kids out of the room for this one. Here's Jim Caviezel appearing to lose his mind.
Will you fight? This man says no, we'll run and we'll live. Yep, fight and you may die. Run and you'll live. For at least a while.
He's doing the exact speech that Mel Gibson did in Braveheart. It's a kook. It's silly. It is silly. Pakman is actually so funny, unintentionally. And I don't agree with him on his Russiagate views. I don't like that he says what he says about that. But on this, he's just such a, like, you could call it like autistic awkward humor. It's like this, he has this autistic awkward humor about him, David Pakman, that like when his commentary is always so good on these videos.
And dying in your beds many years from now, would you have been willing to trade all the years from this day to that for one chance?
This is a very sick person.
Just one chance to come back here and tell our enemies that you can take our lives, but you can never take our freedom. Every man.
This is a white man in America. This is a straight white man in America saying, I'm under attack and let's all get together and fight back. It's weird. It is weird. It's a lot.
And dies.
But using the exact same words as Braveheart. Like he's doing a Braveheart speech in front of this crowd. This is an issue, right? This is an issue.
Not every man truly lives. You. We must fight for that authentic freedom.
Is he also doing like a slight Scottish accent on top of like? This is crazy.
And live, my friends. By God, we must live. And with the Holy Spirit as your shield and Christ as your sword, may you join Saint Michael and all the angels in defending God and sending Lucifer and his henchmen straight right back to hell where they belong.
I thought he said Guccifer. I thought this was a different speech for a moment.
Sorry, Pakman. It's just like Braveheart, but he's not joking. Like in Braveheart, the King of England, I don't know if you guys know the story of the line of Braveheart, but in Braveheart, the King of England institutes prima nocta, where he basically has to have sex with everyone who gets married in Ireland, or Scotland, he has sex with the wife before the wedding night, so that that wife's kid ends up being his kid, and then they're kind of loyal to them, and they fight back against that. That's what Braveheart's about, and that's the speech he just did. And some guy in the audience yelled out, "Freedom!" And that even happens in the movie. But Jim Caviezel, I'm not the kind of guy to just attack men for being white or attack someone for being straight. I feel like a straight white guy myself. I feel like I'm in charge here. Like there is no oppression on me. I feel like I'm the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? And I'm brown. So for a straight white guy like him in America, killing it in Hollywood, for him to say like my life is under attack and we have to fight back, and to do the exact same speech as Braveheart, a movie where the king had sex with your wife on the wedding night, it's a little bit weird, right? It is a little bit like a mental health issue, I think.
Reminder, this is the For God and Country Patriot Double Down Q event,
right,
in Vegas.
So this is why, right? I mean, this is why. And by the way, big fan of David Pakman. Thank you so much. I just feel like there's not enough room on the screen right now, brother. I do love your show. We did show him earlier. Check out David Pakman. He's great. He doesn't need our help. He's doing great. But this is a great clip.
This weekend.
We are headed into the storm of all storms. Yes. This storm is upon us. But not without Jesus.
Wow, he did the finger. Not without God. Not without God. The crazy thing is that every religion has the same,
Our rudder.
He's just like an imam. You know what I mean? A rudder.
In the words of Reagan, evil is powerless if the good are unafraid. God bless you.
So that's getting a standing ovation.
That's amazing.
That's considered good.
Yeah, no, this is why. This is the issue, right? This is the issue, right? When Hollywood says, hey, this guy's dangerous, don't listen to him, he's crazy, this is what this is it. I still don't agree with it. I still think better to just talk about the issues. So, in the end, I gotta say, man, these guys, they're down here in fear and anger. I'm gonna put them at anger, though. I'm not gonna put them at fear. Fear is 0. But on scale of righteousness, I'm gonna put them at anger to pride. You know? And I think we should all remember, too, that even in Christ consciousness, the Christian philosophy, they also believe in this kind of this kind of a righteousness. I mean, they believe in that the kingdom of heaven is within us. And when they say the kingdom of heaven, they mean that top consciousness, the consciousness that ultimate consciousness at the top. That's what they mean by the kingdom of heaven. And they say it's within us. And when they say within us, it means you can turn back and meditate on it and go back and get a feeling of love and light in your heart. You should. That is what, with practice, you can do it. But they have their own version of the religion. You know what I mean? I just want to say that, just to say that, like, not all Christians believe in this. Actually, the best peace activists I've ever met are all Christian. Hindus don't have any peace activists. Buddhists have them. Thich Nhat Hanh is probably Thich Nhat Hanh is the king of peace activism. But then on the Christian side, every actual event I've been to, like I remember I went to this indigenous event. I don't want to brag or anything. I don't want to brag. But I did go to help out at this indigenous land that is being taken over by settler colonialism, because they had a deal with the Canadian government that no houses would be built on a certain area. 1,000-house development goes in. I went, helped them dig up some toilets. I rented a hole digger. I rented it, helped them dig up some toilets. Didn't go that much after. Don't want to brag. It's 1492 land back lane. It's an hour away from here. It's their own land. I think they are righteous. I think the Canadian government is wrong for what they're doing to them. So I said, you know what? I'm here for the culture. I'm here for the community. I'm a spiritual teacher. I said, let me go help. By the way, full of hot girls. Just saying. Just letting you know, right? Like, I know all these guys. Like, I have this friend of mine who does all this free work, if it's for, like, the police or if it's for some rich guy who needs some bullshit. But I was telling him, like, hey, this banger party is on Sundays. Let's go. We could volunteer there. And he's like, so no, yeah, my time's worth more than, because for volunteering they let you go to the party for free. Party's $40. I'm like, yo, let's go. We should volunteer here. It's a great party. He's like, nah, man. It's $40. Our time's worth more than that. It's like, dude, you volunteer you do all kinds of nonsense for if you think some guy can get you rich, or if the police tell you to do something. You know what I mean? It's like it's a weird thing that we do, I feel like, in the culture. Anyway, I don't know how I even got there. How the hell did I get there? Oh yeah, so it's taken me a long time. I grew up with the same mentality that going to a protest, going to volunteer for something, where is profit? That's what all my Patel family would say. There's no profit. How you make money? Black Lives Matter? No money. That's what I had like family friends from India say. Amish, you go to Black Lives Matter? Amish, no money. How you make money? Amish, you can't do it. Don't do it. They talk you out of it. Anyway, the point is that I think that is an illusion too. It is righteous, and then these people waste their time in other ways. So, for example, I think that, let's say with something like, well, I think I said this before, Jews don't start all wars, conservatives start all wars. And the reason they start it is because instead of seeing the world as a happy, collaborative place where we're here to help each other and we're here to lift each other up, they're living in fear and negativity. And so they're seeing the world as a fight and a competition, and like they're projecting these problems onto the world. So I do feel like Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson they have these fears inside of them, and they're projecting it out onto the world, and then they're creating a world where now there's a fight. The CNN people, they take the bait. It's, you know what it is? It's like there's an outrage. It's like an outrage circle jerk where the conservative will say something to outrage the liberal, then the liberal will get outraged, and then the conservative will get outraged that the liberal's outraged. It's a Ponzi. It's a circular. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's some kind of a scheme. They will get offended that these guys are offended. So if you look at this case, this guy's been saying all kinds of kooky shit. Just did the Braveheart speech. Mel Gibson saying Hollywood is a bunch of evil people. He did say that Jews start all wars. So they started. Then these guys are like, hey, everyone, they said some terrible things, racist, whatever. Don't listen to them, whatever. These guys say, it's wrong. I don't think they should have taken the bait. But then these guys are actually now offended that these guys got offended. And you can see that all over the internet too. Let me show you one last clip. And then we're going to move to the next thing. Well, I showed you one. No. Okay, it's gone now. But there's so many clips. I mean, the conservative YouTube is going crazy right now on this. And they're saying we have to attack Hollywood. They are not right. And what I would say is stop the fighting. Just stop it. If you look at the full history, you can see that we are not, there's nothing to fight about here. And Mel Gibson too. I mean, he has to see, that Hollywood, these guys are all mad that they're like Jews run Hollywood. The reason why Jews run Hollywood is because Christians thought it was trash and they wouldn't work in the business. So only Jews were allowed to work in it. Christians were like, no, it's below us. And then they made it cool, and then the Christians want to get in on it, right? So, and then when they want to get in on it, there's gonna, the Jewish people are gonna be like, yeah, but like, I already hired my whole family, like everyone's working here. You want me to hire you now? So then the Christian gets mad. It's like, oh, you did nepotism. So first First the Jew was shunned. Then the Jews made a beautiful industry out of Hollywood. Then the Christian feels, oh no, you shunned me. Now I will attack you. And then these guys are like, okay, no, don't listen to him. We have to attack him. So that's what I mean when I say if you get to the bottom of it, you get to the full history, then you see that we are all children of the Most High God, and everyone's just doing their best. Everyone's doing their best. But let's move these guys up. Like I said, I'm going to put them around anger. I'm going to put them pride, anger, and I'm going to even give them a little courage. You know what I mean? You know what? We're going to rate them high here. We're not, we're going to give them, let's go anger. Let's put them right at pride. Right at pride. Right at pride. And that's the righteousness that they deserve. And let's go to break time, see what the community has to say about this. What's up, y'all? What's people saying about that? Chipko says, then some went to Scientology. Yes, some do go to Scientology. Salman Khalaf, please do not put Amish in same bucket with Nick and Fresh and Fit. P. Morton, Amish was looking for some alternate brown pound. Out Amish is very narrow on history facts and what is really going on. Ryan Dawson, Nick Fuentes, Fresh and Fit, and many others dropping the big bombs. Oh no, Gold Color. Salman, I don't think Gold Color is putting me in their category. I think Gold Color is saying that I'm not in that category. But, okay, Gold Color. Amish, you're speaking left-handed and show no facts about why we are sick of Hollywood and crap hole Washington. There's lots of reasons to be sick of it. Salman Khalaf, man, I usually get more annoyed and the people who actually take him seriously as if he is a Harvard certified pundit. I am a Harvard X certified pundit. Mitch Vintage, not just God, Jesus. Oh, everyone at the convention has lost the plot. Yeah, no, but dude, Gold Color, I mean, you know, is he really, like, he did the Braveheart speech. That's whack, dude. Come on, you gotta write your own speech. I do like Yami Ozino says, I like Braveheart. I like Braveheart too. Finian Lobar, you guys actually believe in adrenochrome? I don't know what adrenochrome is. But if it's a COVID cure, then I don't think I do. Mitch Vintage says, believe in it? I can order it. It can be ordered from the labs. Listen, whatever kooky conspiracy theory you're into, I like it. P. Morton, Mel blew it with a 6-foot-tall Anglo Jesus. Oh, snap. P. Morton. Have respect. But also, that's a good one. That's a good rip. Finian Lobar. Yeah, which is why there is no need to get it from brains. Right. That's what gives you adrenaline. Chipko! That's right. That's what gives me adrenaline. Let me play a track for you guys. Let me play a beautiful, beautiful track. We got so many good tracks here. This is called Prophet 7 by Noir A. Blanc V right here on the YouTube. From the YouTube Creator Library, and you're listening to the Rip and Dip live on YouTube. We got to go to our next topic, but it's already 11:53, and I gotta go, guys. Let's see if we can do some quick topics from my Instagram, and in the meantime, talk to each other. Be a community. Argue, debate, mix it up, chop it up. Mix it up, chop it up. Talk to the community, would you? And make sure you go to my Instagram page. I don't know why it's taking so long to load, but here we go. Oh my God, we got to do the Hindus under attack, but it's just not a lot of time. Oh, we got to do cluster bombs. Oh my God, the cluster bombs. There's just so many topics to go through. Well, let's do the... You know what we'll do? I actually wanted to do a Righteous Rip of the Week on Palki Sharma. Let's do this. This is going to be great, actually. I love Palki. Palki Sharma's the best. Yeah, let's do cluster bombs as a quick one, quicker. Okay, well that didn't load right. No. All right, let's take these two off. And let's get into the cluster munitions and figure out if they're righteous or not, shall we? Okay, and get funky with that music in the meantime, too. That's nice. That's a nice music. That's nice music, y'all. All right, let's see what Palki Sharma has to say about the cluster bombs going to the Ukraine. Let's take a look at it.
It's day 500 of Russia's war in Ukraine. The battle lines have moved up and down in this period, but neither side has given up. As we speak, President Zelensky is on the road. He visited Bulgaria first, the Czech Republic second, and now he's heading to Turkey. All three countries are NATO members. This is Zelensky's first trip to Turkey since the invasion began. It promises to be a crucial one. Zelensky will be looking for two things in Istanbul. One is President Erdogan's support to join NATO. The Turkish president has become the Grinch of NATO expansion. He threatened to stall Finland. He's still stalling Sweden. So Zelensky wants to secure his support. And objective number two, extending the Black Sea grain deal. The United Nations had mediated this deal between Russia and Ukraine. Turkey played a key role in that. Under this deal, grain trade via the Black Sea resumed despite the war. But on the 17th of July, this month, the deal will expire. So Zelensky needs Erdogan's support to extend the deal. The hope is that Turkey can convince Russia. Now, you may have noticed that Zelensky...
Yeah, and this is really like the slow, steady... This is our encroachment into World War III, in my opinion. Look, it's Kali Yuga. And you know I'm a spiritual teacher, and you know I'm a Hindu. And that's what Kali Yuga teaches, is that we are in the time of highest suffering. So a war... If there's going to be a World War III, now's the time, according to the Hindus. I don't want to scare anyone, but if you follow any of this politics in any real way, this is basically what the slide towards World War III looks like. Because basically, when Zelensky this week, he went to this NATO meeting, and he was pissed that Turkey is not letting Ukraine into NATO. Turkey is the one saying, we don't think Ukraine's ready. And I don't think any of them want Ukraine to join, because if Ukraine joins, that means World War III has begun. That means we all got to go now, if Ukraine joins. Because if Ukraine joins, Russia's attacked them, they're part of NATO. That's just the deal. That's just how that works. And he's trying to go there and get them to join. Same thing, like at one point, some bombs fell into Poland, and he put out a press release saying, like, oh, it was Russia attacked Poland. Russia attacked Poland, and Poland's a NATO member, so everything's World War III. They want to go, dude. This is the problem.
Traveling a lot nowadays, a lot more. He even flew all the way to Washington, D.C. The question is why? Because war fatigue has set in. Zelensky needs more advanced weapons to take the fight to Russia, but for that, he needs Western support. He needs clear signals from NATO. That's what he demanded during his meetings in Prague. Some honesty from the alliance. Listen to this.
Some people will look back at Moscow. Some people are afraid of Russia. Although I believe that this is a great moment, a great chance to show the courage of the entire alliance and the strength of the alliance. But nevertheless, we are talking about a clear signal, some concrete things in the direction of an invitation. We need this motivation. We need honesty in our relations.
NATO leaders will be meeting in Lithuania next week. It's Finland's first summit. Zelensky could end up getting an invitation, but will his country get one? I'm talking about NATO membership. Ukraine has been fighting for 500 days for the right to join NATO, but the alliance has been non-committal. It says a country at war cannot be given membership, which is why Zelensky is on the road to drum up support for his cause. A lot depends on what the United States decides to do. Publicly, Joe Biden has been confident. He may have confused Ukraine for Iraq, but his statement was quite clear. Putin should lose, that's what he said. But behind the scenes, there have been some interesting developments. Some back-channel diplomacy. Look at these reports. They say former US officials have been holding secret talks with Russia. For what? To somehow try and end the war. Now, the details are sketchy, but here's what we know. The US was represented by former White House and State Department officials. And Russia? By people close to the Kremlin. In one instance, even Sergei Lavrov represented Russia. The foreign minister met a group of former US officials in April, and what is the White House saying about this? They're using typical diplomatic language. We knew about it, but we did not clear it. In other words, we didn't start it, but we do not mind it either. Perhaps it's true, but let me tell you what Joe Biden has decided to approve. Cluster bombs. The US is preparing a new package of
cluster bombs
weapons for Ukraine.
Yeah.
For the first time, it will include cluster bombs. And this is a controversial weapon. Many countries, including the US, are phasing it out. The reason? It's too dangerous and unreliable. Cluster bombs contain hundreds of smaller bombs inside. They don't hit one target. They carpet bomb the whole place. So there are more chances of civilian casualties. Plus, most of them never go off. Around 10 to 40% of cluster bombs fail. But years or decades later, they may explode in civilian areas. Even today, cluster bombs from the 1960s explode in Vietnam and Laos. Now, Ukraine and Russia have both used...
How can Vietnam and Laos be so cool with the Americans? Their cluster bombs are still going off. And Vietnam... And that is the work of Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh, his peace activism is the only successful peace activism in the world. Every other country that's been at war is still at war. Still looking for ways to fight, whatever. But the activism of Thich Nhat Hanh is so powerful that even the goddamn cluster bombs are still in Vietnam, and the Vietnamese people and the American people have no animosity. It's insane.
Bombs. Kiev first got them from Turkey. But this is the first time that Washington, D.C. is providing them. And what does that mean? Is the U.S. desperate, or do they sense a window? Either way, it's not an encouraging sign. On Thursday, a Russian missile struck Ukraine's Lviv city. Around 10 people were killed. Yet neither side is any closer to their objectives. Ukraine has no guarantees from the NATO, and Russia is not any closer to...
Balki Sharma is a voice of reason, though. She always... It's so annoying hearing American news and hearing the biased American news. She always says, this is like... She always just puts the stank on it, and that includes America for helping Ukraine this much, putting this much money into it. Of course they're fighting.
Kiev. In fact, Zelensky is so confident, he's traveling almost every month. After 500 days, war has sort of become routine, something you wake up to and do every day. It's a dangerous phase in any conflict.
The thing that I wanted
the
to
US
show you guys.
is sending cluster bombs to Ukraine. President Biden announced it as part of an $800 million weapons package to help with the counteroffensive.
Mr. President, cluster munitions, why now?
We've run out of ammunition. Controversial weapons have been heavily criticised. Cluster bombs work by firing a rocket which contains dozens of smaller bombs.
Why now?
The missile breaks up in the
He's adorable.
air and scatters the explosives over a large area. But the bombs can remain unexploded for years or even decades, posing a huge risk to civilians even after the war is over. They are banned by more than 100 countries, but both Russia and Ukraine have used them in the conflict already. The White House has defended their decision.
Ukraine has provided written assurances that it is going to use these in a very careful way that is aimed at minimizing any risk to civilians. It's a decision that required a real hard look at the potential harm to civilians.
The US is sending cluster bombs to Ukraine. President
So crazy.
Biden and
But apparently, yeah, they hurt 98% civilian. The hurt is 98% civilian. But the worst thing is, the guy said, is that they're only allowed to drop the cluster bombs inside of Ukraine. That's not reassuring. You know what I mean? It's not like people are like, oh, it's only going to kill Ukraine? Who cares then? That's even worse, man. That's how you know they're in a blood feud. That's how you know they're so mad. And this is what happens when people are so angry. This is what anger does. It brings you into a lower vibration. Where is my scale of righteousness? There we go. That's what anger does. It brings anger and negative, this kind of fear-based thinking that we have to fight, it's the only way. It brings you down into the darkness, into ignorance. And when you're down there, you're not really like seeing any option to negotiate. That's why the people that are in the war, they think negotiation is impossible. And us, instead of being like, yeah, here's more weapons. Okay, you need a cluster bomb? The guy says, it's okay, they're just going to drop it inside of Ukraine. That's even worse. That's how you know they're in a blood feud. They're like, don't worry, we're going to drop it inside of Ukraine. They're going to drop it on their own country. You know what these things do? They spread over an area so large that it's like you can't do anything there for 50 years. Because any minute, these bombs could go off. You don't know how many already went off. You don't know how many are left. It could, like, the wind could blow it over. I mean, the explosion of one could cover up the other bomb. Then there's a bomb under there. You don't know. It's ridiculous, man. And this is what all fighting is. It's hurting yourself to hurt another. Because we are all one. That's the teachings. That's the loving kindness teachings. Is that everyone is one. And that's why I say that conservatives start all wars. Because they're more in the negative. They also do all the defending, in a sense. And look, Democrats are basically taken over by conservatives right now. But I mean, I don't mean parties. I mean like that military-minded, defensive person. That's who starts all wars. And that's what I would say Mel Gibson is more of. Like, he's kind of like that. And I do feel like the Americans are kind of like that. You know, there was a time when people would say things like, you know, America is more violent than anyone. And people would laugh like, oh, yeah, more than the Muslims? What are you, crazy? What, are you trying to sell me a bridge in Brooklyn? Come on, pal. The Muslims are crazy. Like, everyone just assumes. But if you look at, because America has industrial capacity, right? Like, really, how many people can, like, if you're Palestine, let's say, how many people are you going to kill with rocks? You can't kill that many people. But if you're on the American side, you have industrial capacity. So for them to have this mentality of the world, of the Middle East, of Ukraine, Russia, whatever, as like, we just got to send weapons. It's not, negotiating is not an option. We just got to send weapons. They actually end up killing more people in the world. And these are bad karmas for the country, you know. And if you're from there, and I think it's important that all of us speak out against it, because most people are sheep and they just kind of go along with it. But what do you guys think in the comments? Tell me what you think. Ukraine requested the cluster bombs. They have been getting hit with them for over a year. They understand the rules. P. Morton. Interesting. Okay, that's interesting. No, and that's why, listen, man, war is hell. And this is just another reminder then that war is hell. And like, But P. Morton, do you think that Ukraine's going to drop them only in their own territory, or do you think that's a lie? Because they did promise that like, don't worry, we're only going to drop it in our own territory. Do you think they're just saying that and they're going to just whatever, we'll go in Russia? They're going to send them into Russia? Because part of me just feels like you can't send it only in your own territory. Thank you, Amish. No, we cluster bomb them instead. Feed the children. Yeah, it's true, man. It's true. Why escalate? The plasma went to people without clotting factors. The people bleeding out from major trauma, though, mostly. Keeping Clint Eastwood alive is cool, too. He was born in the 30s. Of course, he's racist. Huh. Interesting. Mitch Vintage. If you ask Caviezel the same question, he would laugh at Steven. I'm sure he doesn't see himself as famous. Interesting. There we go. That's all the comments I can see, actually, right now. Hold on. No? Oh, there we go. Hello, congregation. I hope everyone is having a great day so far. Feeling the righteous karmas. That's very good. That's very good. Just got off a long work meeting. I'll have to go back and watch what I missed. Yeah, no. This has been a great episode. A lot of rips today. A lot of rips in the whole thing. Listen, I was going to talk about this the Hindu is under attack comment thing. I got to save it for next week now. I mean, we've just gone way over on our 2 comments, but I think we really dug into the issues on the 2 comments we did, and I'm gonna have it very tight and clean for next week so that it comes out. Or maybe I should just do it as a reaction video, because I did see this video. Here, I'll show you the short real quick. I always find it funny when they do propaganda like this. I'll show you 2 shorts of people whitewashing war, and well, here's a Hindu guy doing it. And then I'll show you the Christian guy doing it. And I think they're both sinners for doing it. And by sinner, I do mean someone caught in negativity. No, where is my... There it is.
Modi has done more for Muslims than he has for Hindus. Hard facts.
I hope this reaches St. Xavier's College in Mumbai. And JNU. No, I'm kidding.
BJP doesn't want this fallacy to be cleared at all. मैंने ये BJP politician से पूछा, वो कहते हैं आग लगी रहनी चाहिए. Let people believe this because Hindus को ये नहीं लगना चाहिए कि Muslims के लिए ज़्यादा किया है मोदी ने. Honestly, I'm telling you, Hindus are the 8th class citizens of this country. I prove constitutionally, legally, through parliament, through society, that Hindus are being actively discriminated against.
Such a bullshit. And this beer biceps guy does not push back. It's so annoying because this guy, his name is Anand too, and you know that he's at Anand. So I'm writing the propaganda, Hindu propaganda. It's so sweet in Anand. It will, because Anand means joy and bliss, and he's basically making a Hindu propaganda that is so joyful and so blissful that even a Christian will hear, and even a Muslim and hear, and even Sikh will hear, and it will, and they'll say, "Wow, Hindu is a number one." That's what he thinks he's doing, but I mean, it's kind of working. You know, if you got to sell a genocide, this clip is like such a great way to sell genocide because the beer biceps guy is just like this cute Bollywood guy, and he's talking about like, "Arey Baba, I dated this Christian girl, and she said that I was being like Hindu nationalistic. Is it true? Are we Hindu nationalistic, Baba?" And then this guy basically says, "I will debunk it. We are the 8th class citizen." It's such a lie, dude. It's propaganda.
It is not the Muslims and the Christians who are being constitutionally discriminated against. It is the Hindus. If the government doesn't want to dispel those fake propaganda, then why should anybody else care? That's what I'm saying. This is all a diabolical game being played. Vote bank.
We live in the age of marketing.
Truly. We live in the age of marketing.
Yeah, so basically they're saying all the Hindu nationalism, that's all marketing. It's a big whitewash. It kind of reminds me of this Netanyahu clip. This is one of my favorite dumb clips from this is him on the Jordan Peterson podcast. It's so silly. Watch this.
And there were a lot of movement back and forth.
Yes.
But the Jews have actually taken the land and made something of it.
Well, I'm saying something else, though. I'm saying that they held the land for 2,000 years, were kicked out. The Arabs came and conquered it and immediately lost it to others and did nothing with it.
Is joint criticism online? It is anti-Palestinian, and Jordan Peterson just says right and agrees with the entire. It's such a dumb. This is classic. the people oppressing, they'll hire some, they're always writing, making up history and just rewriting it all so that like, no, we look good. So this guy's like, no, they're doing settler colonialism on us. The Jews being colonized by the Palestinian. Can you believe it? Same thing, dude. I just lost a lot of respect for you after watching the interview with Benjamin Netanyahu. Wow, you really seem out of your depth with it when it comes to the history of that region. Not to mention failing to hold Netanyahu's feet to the fire whatsoever on any point that it matters. Yeah, it's true. Ignoring historical facts, denying the rights of people to exist, and justifying thievery and oppression by Netanyahu is normal, expected. But Jordan Peterson, I'm shocked and abhorring. Many people feel that way, were deceived by him and in him. JP, you just canceled yourself. Did he, though? It's not canceled. Various users who criticized the interview in the comment section, YouTube, were met with angry replies from Jordan Peterson himself, calling them trolls and cowards for posing criticism anonymously. Oh, wow. Peterson drew criticism earlier when he was seen walking around Al-Aqsa Mosque alongside conservative pundit Ben Shapiro and a group of Israeli settlers. Yeah, like these guys, like he's, since Peterson, I guess, got signed by, you know, this is what conservatives do, though. Peterson wasn't always this into Israel over Palestine. But now that he signed with Daily Wire, part of the investment is that now he goes to these places that they're, I mean, look, we'll get into the details of it next week or maybe on the weekend or something. But like for him to go to Al-Aqsa Mosque in Palestine, it's a mosque that the Israelis are actively trying to take over right now. For him to go there and make it out like this is a beautiful place, this is like something good and it should be held by the Jews, like he's basically making a very strong political statement of being on their side. And then I'd say this guy is a little more just being a nice guy, you know, beer biceps.
Modi has done
even when you watch it, the episode, this beer biceps guy, he's like he was well, I already told you, yeah, but he's just talking about his it's such a cutesy story. Like he's like she was so beautiful, like a model, and she broke up with me, Baba, because she's saying I'm like being like a Hindu nationalist, I'm apologizing for Hindu nationalists. Can you believe it, Baba? And then this guy's, so it's like, obviously she broke up with you. You're lying to yourself, dude. This is the kind of propaganda that you hear from older Indian men, and you should be like, okay, dude, you are nitpicking the shit out of this to make it look like Hindus are being oppressed. You can nitpick it and make it look like that, and especially when you get into constitutional detail, like he says, then it gets so complex that people don't look past it. It's basically just packaging the information. No, it is a very sweet propaganda. And we'll have to review it next week because it's already 12:14 and it's time to go. Thanks for coming, everybody. I do appreciate you. I do love you being here being here for the community. Salman Khalaf says, I'll send you the clip on Insta. Yeah, you got to send it to me. Or her. Send it to me, too. I think he was just on Lex Meaner podcast, too. I could swear I saw a thumbnail. Yeah, he just did it like 11 hours ago. No, Netanyahu's making the rounds, man. And it's crazy because all these years, there's all this, like, I mean, they basically have been destroying Palestine. And the attitude from all of us is like, okay, it's awkward to bring it up. And you say it's awkward. Well, now they have like a hard right-wing government, and I'm sure they don't want that. So we didn't really do them any favors by pretending that, you know, Jews are being oppressed. And we're not going to do Hindus any favors by pretending that the Hindus are the 8th-class citizen of India. It's actually more righteous, and we will go more... we will go closer and closer to God as we admit the truth and not make these stories. These stories, this propaganda, it is a form of darkness and ignorance. It's basically obscuring and the facts and rewriting history so that you have another excuse to stay in your kind of groupthink. You know what I mean? Is it acid? It's just hot. Sheesh. I'll send you the clip. Yeah, send me the clip. But anyway, that's our show today. Thanks for coming, everyone. I do appreciate you. We had some laughs. We had some ups and downs. We talked about the issues. We talked about the culture. We talked about the community. And that's it. I got to go. Babaji's got to go, y'all. Babaji's got to go. There it is. And there it is. Thanks for coming, y'all. Don't forget that if you came in and you participated in the comments, guess what?
Wow, we're just a little buttercup, aren't we?
That is correct. Well, we covered some good spiritual topics today. The Jim Caviezel, Mel Gibson thing, very spiritual topic. And then the Hindu violence, that's very important too. It's very important that we talk about these things and we try to raise the vibration. We try to get people out of thinking with this kind of bitterness and negativity. We tried our best, and that's all we can do. We just gotta shed the light of awareness on it, and that apparently solves 80% of the problem. But according to the Buddha, ill will and like anger towards others is the biggest thing holding us back from living happy and healthy lives. Whether that's culturally or in your personal life, that's why the most important practice of Buddhism is forgiveness. Because once you forgive, then you can see, and forgiveness happens by taking in all the information, not pretending to only see half the information, not turning a blind eye when your community oppresses others, but taking in all the information, then it automatically heals because you know what is righteous. It's only through the blocking out the information and choosing propaganda that you can keep reinforcing your negative worldview. But anyway, I digress. That's our episode today. I gotta go. Babaji loves you. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, tell a friend, and don't forget.
Well, we're just a little buttercup, aren't we?
We are just a little buttercup of God. That's it.